All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. We're still having the avocado discussion, and we've been told by someone online that we say varieties of avocados, not types. That's Olo Nicholas. Let's bring up your questions. We have a lot of SMSs and tweets coming through. Let's start with the first one. Most countries in Europe started rejecting the Kenyan avocados due to challenges like fruit shape. Now we face China. Is this being addressed, and how? Nixon, that comes directly to Madam Esther.
Okay, first, let me clarify, it's not fruit shape. Sometimes people harvest the mature avocado and send to Europe. Okay. Then when it ripens, it doesn't ripen properly, or it is brown inside or something like that. So whenever you are marketing something, think about the customer. What is the customer going to get out of it? The other challenge we have is the pests and diseases. Like there are some moths and those fruit flies and others that attack the avocado, and sometimes they may lay some eggs that countries are afraid of them being taken to their country with the avocado.
So is this being addressed? How is it being addressed, like Nixon was asking?
What we are doing is to teach farmers to practice good agronomic practices in their orchards, and also manage those fruits. You have to put in technology, manage the fruit flies and the other pests.
All right, let's bring up another question.
That's right, let's put that up on the screen now. We have the next bit of feedback. So America, Kenya had several questions. Do avocados burn excess fat? Do they stimulate pimples on the faces? And also, what's the reality when it comes to ladies' hair growth? Hosea, you can come and give us your thoughts on this. Excess fat?
Pimples, hair growth.
Well, this is what I'd like to say, that avocado is a healthy fruit. In fact, we want to encourage every Kenyan to take an avocado. At the very least, 2 avocados a week, because then that will,
avocados a week.
At least, so that will, also improve the incomes of the farmers. Having said that, now avocado is used for various, ways in the world. We get cosmetics done from avocados. Avocado has folic acid. So that is why somebody's talking about, hair and so on. So basically, it's good when you consume avocado. Yes, the folic acid from avocado and many other, things that are found in avocado are useful for our health.
Okay. Yes. All right, let's bring in the other question that was on Twitter, and 22422 is the SMS line we're using. And we have Edward Taitataveta. I'm aspiring to try avocado exporting. What are the requirements as regards to licenses? Mr. Beward, that is directly to you.
Yes, I think the farmer can actually approach HCD. First of all, we'll encourage farmers to work with FPIC, because when they work with FPIC private sector, they get to be trained and capacity build on some of these things. But HCD, of course, KFIS is there. And then we have Kenya Revenue Authority. If you are selling to a regional economic bloc like ESC, there is what is called preferential certificate of origin, and also Chamber of Commerce for the ordinary certificates of origin to other destinations, which are not necessarily regional economic blocks.
And farmers can access some of these bodies.
Let me simplify that for the farmer. For the farmer who wants to export, first of all, it's very difficult unless you are a large-scale farmer to get the enough volumes. So many people have encouraged the farmers to get into cooperatives. But now, if you want to be an exporter yourself, you have enough volumes. You only
what volumes are we looking at here?
Whatever your customer is demanding.
So
and you think it makes business sense.
There's no standard capacity?
No. And it makes business sense.
Okay, we'll give you a chance to add to that.
So what you need to do is to register with HCD and then come to KFIS for certification. From there, when you're registering, you'll be advised. When you come to us, we'll tell you the requirements that you need to meet that may vary from market to market. So whatever, you need to be very clear which market do you want to export to. And then from there we shall advise you on what to do with that market. Or you can talk to your customer to tell you the requirements of their market, then come to KFIS for certification. But you need to be registered with HCD and you need to be certified by KFIS for you to export.
That's definitely a lot clearer. Let's take a look at the next SMS right now. Thank you for your feedback. Someone here asking about avocado production, talking about excess water and the dangers, increasing chances of phytophthora. I'll allow Maina to get into this. There's an issue of water and harvest as well. Maina, your thoughts?
First, we say that avocados need water, like all crops, but we don't need excess water, because when you get excess water, then you create a water logging, and then the roots are not able to breathe, you get root diseases, and the tree dies. So normally when it comes to irrigation, we talk about minimum 30 liters per tree per week. Okay. Minimum 30 liters. That is only when it's not raining. And in Kenya we have 4 months when it doesn't rain, January to March and September. And this time we had an extra month of April, it didn't rain. So 25 mm probably will be excess. So that is regarding to that. And then of course you need to make sure that you are working in a soil which is well aerated, it has been prepared well, it has some manure, and you'll be able to grow. Avocado is not a difficult crop to grow.
How long before harvest?
It takes 3 years after planting before you start harvest. But we also 3 years.
Yes.
3 years.
Goodness.
And we're also finding that when you do proper irrigation, you can start harvesting in 2.5 years. But we tell farmers 3 years. And then you harvest for about 20-25 years.
All right.
Depending on how you take
And you can harvest every year after the 3 years?
Every year after the 3 years for 20-25 years.
Okay. And Madam Esther, there's another question here for you. Jefferson Mwangemi says, please ask Madam, why do KEFIS impose charges, e.g. per DMs, when visiting farmers, and yet they're allocated cash for their operations by the government?
Actually, it's more than 3/4 of our revenue actually comes from the charges.
Yeah.
And so when we charge on minimal cost recovery charges. Yes.
All right. And there was another question from someone here on Twitter who was wondering if this is another quill project.
Yeah, I'll explain that, but let me just touch quickly on the market. Somebody asked what volume is adequate. We have to remember that Kenyan avocados, 90% go through by sea, which means we ship them through containers. One container takes 20 tons net. That is roughly 100,000 fruits. An average tree will give you at best maybe 400 fruits. So for you to fill a container, you can work the figures. And a customer says, I want, say, 3-4 containers a month. So for a small farmer to be able to get that volume is difficult. So the idea is that small-scale farmers should pull together as cooperatives, and then they can raise the volumes. That way it will be easier now for them, even as a cooperative, to consider whether they can export, if they can fulfill the requirements that he has listed there. Now, the other thing about whether avocado is a quill business.
Get quick rich and rich quick scheme.
If you notice, one of the characteristics of get rich quick schemes is that it's very quick money. You are told invest 10,000, you get after 2 weeks 3,000. Avocado is a 3-year crop.
3-year crop.
So yes, you have to have the patience, and most of these pyramid schemes do not have 3 years. But purely from a professional and commercial point of view, if whatever product you are growing, you are consuming yourself, and it has an export component consumption, then it's not going to be quill business. Third, Kenya has been exporting avocados from the 60s. Only what has happened, the volumes are growing. In Kenya today, you'll be surprised. The consumption for avocados in our country, domestic consumption, is growing rapidly. In 1998, when I joined the industry, after packing, the EU has given quality specifications. For example, just to use a quick example, if this stock is off, that's a reject, because there will be infection coming through. But nutritional-wise, the fruit is sound. So all these fruits we would reject either because of that, or some pests, or some other weights. We'll go put them in a truck and dump in the Dora dump site. But by 2004, we started seeing Mama Boga coming to us, can we buy the rejects? That time there was only Uchumi supermarkets doing a very small chaff. Over time, today, before you pack, there are people coming to ask, can we order? And that is what you're consuming.
Yes.
You go to fruits and vegetable shops today, people are buying the same avocado at 50 shillings. From throwing to a local component which is growing. And we expect that it will continue growing because the health benefits are so good for the avocado that we need to encourage Kenyans to eat and eat it a lot.
To eat and eat it a lot.
There was another question on markets which I wanted to respond to.
Okay, go ahead.
The question of counties coming in the contracts between cooperatives and the exporters. There was a question I was asked in Embu about payments, because a lot of suppliers talk about a fact that those who buy from them do not pay on time. So that's another question that needs to be looked at, and I think when counties come to guarantee and work with the cooperatives as they supply the avocado, they will be able to look at the issue of pricing and prompt payments. around the smallholder farmers. And then another thing which we need to talk about is that how long can Kenya export fresh avocados? I think what we are doing currently is to see how we can bring technology and start adding value. And then we have high value products to be exported, because that way the country will actually reap.
What are the possible products you can get from avocado? Juices, what else?
Of course, juices, of course,
avocado
lotion. The lady talked about the hair.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the lotion.
Soaps.
Okay.
So this is the long term within the big four in terms of value addition, because that's how Kenya can actually get a lot of value out of our products.
Hosea, a quick question to you. A concern that in the next 5 years there'll be a string of rich avocado millionaires in the cities and poor farmers in the counties.
Well, it's not true. I mean, for now, the middlemen are there. We call them suppliers, and a number of exporters get the avocado from the suppliers. But over time, as we have said, if the smallholder farmers in the counties get into cooperatives and get organized, then the exporters will work directly with them, because they will have the consistency, they will have the volumes, and so they will be able to do business directly. Now, it's not that there will be a few rich people in the cities. I mean, we need to understand the value chain of avocado. There is somebody who's got to grow the avocado. There is some logistic company that has got to transport the avocado to either the port of Mombasa or to the airport in Nairobi. And there is a clearing agent that has to clear the avocado. And there is an importer on the other side who has to import the avocado. So a farmer is not going to do everything. And there is government that is going to do the regulations and certifications. Having said that, the future of avocado is bright, but we also need to understand that the rest of the countries are not sitting on their laurels waiting for Kenya to grow the avocado. I mean, South Africa is increasing. There is Mexico, there is Peru, there is Guatemala. California grows a lot of avocado, and other countries, Israel grows avocado. Those are our competitors. So what we need in this country is to be able to have a competitive edge against them. And speaking on behalf of exporters, I mean, the government of Kenya has put VAT on agrochemicals. That increases the cost of production. The government of Kenya is not paying VAT to the exporters on time. That means they don't have money for doing their business. And every other day, the government of Kenya has now come up with the Horticulture Crops Regulation 2019. It's in draft form. I have seen it, and they're talking about charging 0.25% FOB, free on board, of the exports. I mean, where are the business people going to get the money to get into all this? We are basically looking at a good crop, but then we are getting steps back in terms of making us competitive to be able to get into the export market.
Okay.
And then also, if the farmers really want to benefit from farming, you don't plant 1 or 2 or 3 trees and expect those ones will make you a millionaire. If you have a piece of land, plant from 1 acre up so that you can get good money out of it.
So have at least a minimum of what, 10 trees, 13?
A quarter acre if you really want some good
Ideally, you can do an acre. But in Kenya today, we know that land in rural areas is probably less than that. So whatever you can be able to plant, even if it's 10 or 15, but as long as in the neighborhood you can do that, it's very easy to create a catchment. But I think the most important thing that we need to talk to aspiring and people who are growing avocados is actually about the yields. Because what is happening today, I was doing some research, and you find that on average many farmers are doing 200 fruits a tree per year. Yet the same tree can give you 1,000, 2,000 fruits a tree a year.
Per year?
Wow. Yes. So in terms of, not half.
Even a quarter.
Exactly. Yeah. So the point is, what is the disconnect? If I give an example, my orchard, I'm able to average 1,000 fruits a year. When the year is not per tree, I do 800. The only difference between me and the guys who are doing 200 or 150 is because I've got the technical know-how to implement what you call good agricultural practices. And this country, knowing that the land is getting smaller and smaller because of our cultural ways of, subdividing land to give children and housing and all that, the only way out is to increase the yields per unit without necessarily increasing the cost of growing.
Okay.
And that is the only way. A farmer will say, I have 10 trees, but I'm making money which is decent. And I think that is where we have a big disconnect, because everybody continues planting, like the governors have given millions of trees. Yeah. How much are we going to get from each tree?
200 at most.
Or even less.
Or even less.
So, and I think that is one thing we really need to focus on, so that we increase the yields, we get the quality right, we get everything right, and then internationally, don't forget, Kenya is not the only exporter. If you go to Europe today, Kenyan avocados are rated very lowly because of our quality issues. But when we step it up, we'll even have an opportunity to ask for better prices. So we have got some work to do so that we can move the industry productively, competitively from a commercial perspective, and also even from a food safety and compliance point of view.
I'm sure she'll want to respond to this. Madam Kiona, before you come in, are there other markets around the world that are interested in Kenyan avocados? And also, are there markets around the world interested in other Kenyan products that you are in discussions with right now?
Yes, actually, Kenya is a major exporter of agriculture produce, with horticulture leading. We are exporting to Europe, to Middle East, Russia, even Australia for flowers, Korea, all these. We are trying to access for the avocado some of those markets that we haven't exported in the past. Last year we cleared for South Africa, who had banned also for our export, but now we can export. Mauritius also, we have just they have just given us the requirements, though they are a bit stringent, so we are trying to negotiate whether they can lower them a bit, as long as we address the risks they are trying to mitigate. China we have just opened, but at the moment we can't be able to export the whole fruit. It has to be ripened, frozen, and then exported as a frozen product. And KEFIS will certify that we are meeting the requirements. So anybody wanting to invest in that will have to come to us. We shall give them the specification on what they need in terms of hygiene and handling that product, and then they will be. We will inform the Chinese that we have a client here who is ready, and then they will be able to.
Allow me to add something. Yes, it's good to talk about, exporting frozen avocado to China. Yeah. But honestly, the exporters are here. What we export are fresh avocado. I only know of one exporter who tried to do frozen avocados. What we need from government is to facilitate private sector to start with what we have, which is the fresh avocado. And it's nice to talk about Mauritius. I mean, the president went to Mauritius and convinced the government there that we can export. But we are looking at a country that has 1.2 million people. China has 1.3 billion people. Japan has 125 million people. Yeah. What we need from government is, and Peter is here, can talk about it, is to get facilitation from government to enter the traditional markets that we've been, to ensure that we stick there and get new markets for our produce. And not only avocado. I mean, we are not able to export French beans, for example, to the USA because of the pest that they are saying, fruit fly, attacks this. And we are looking up to KEFIS to do what they need to do, which is a pest critical analysis, so that they can convince the Americans that we can export our French bean while it is whole. Yeah.
I think the question of avocado, actually, I'm happy that we are introducing other products, was a call on Kenyans to diversify products. So we are looking at avocado among others. But there is also an urgent need by our Kenyan private sector to start investing, especially taking advantage of the Big Four agenda, to invest in value addition in a lot of our products. And then we are not only looking at China. So the question of issues on frozen avocado does not arise, because already as a country, we are looking at Asia. In fact, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area has become operational. It is being launched in May. That's right. During end of this month. Yes. So we are looking at Africa. Especially Africa now takes a lot of our manufactured or value-added products. So we need to think about how can we add value to our tea and sell to maybe Nigeria, or we sell to South Africa and other African countries. And also look at AGOA, which is duty-free up to 2025, and they're taking our dried and fresh avocados, as well as also the EU. So we need to really diversify our products and markets. And what we need to focus on is value addition. In fact, the economic history has shown that countries which export raw materials do not actually reap a lot from trade. Those are classified as poor countries. But if you go to high-end value-added products, these are countries which are increasingly getting, increasing returns, creating employment. So while others give us an opportunity to export frozen, we are exporting value-added products to Africa, we export to the US market and others. And I think the government has done a lot in terms of opening this market.
Opening this market. Our time really is up. I'll give you 1 minute to say the last word.
Yes.
And you go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to demystify the issue about pests. Pests are controlled at the farm level. Risk analysis is made and you're told which pests do you need to control. So the private sector needs to understand these things, set up structures at the farm level and manage the pests that are preventing us from accessing the market.
He has challenged your organization, markets in the USA and so forth. Are you working on those?
We have worked on them.
You've worked on them?
Actually, what they need to do, most of the markets now are requiring pest-free areas of production. Even for the Chinese, for the export of the fruit, we need to put management, good agriculture practices at the farm level, because people are used to just collecting anything from anywhere. The farms need to be managed properly. The pests in those farms need to be managed properly so that you get products that are not carrying pests on them. And we, as Kefis, we are ready to train them. It's not us to go and control, it's the farmer.
It is the farmer. Okay, I can see how we'll go back and forth on this. Maybe this is what we'll talk about next time when we call each of you here. Thank you so much to each of our guests who've joined us today and to everyone who's participated in this program. I'm told we have about 4 tweets and 1 SMS. Let's quickly go through them before we release our guest here today.
Justice Matumbi says, I've not heard the panel talk about where to get recommended varieties in counties, market linkages, established avocado contacts in countries. Can you address these?
Oh, in countries.
In counties. But that, all that was addressed.
I think all that was addressed, yes.
Yes, it was. Late. And Madam Esther is saying contact Kefis.
Contact Kefis.
Yes.
Okay.
Get everything
At Toe, Clive says, there was a time I worked on avocado processing industry before they were being exported. We have one factory in Thika that used to wash and process them. It used to be flooded because it was single. We have other processing industries. So I think talking about a lot of demand.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Can we give one-line answers for those ones?
I want to say something.
Okay.
Go ahead. We have avocado.
Can I?
Okay.
We do have at least 4 companies currently which are processing avocado oil.
Yeah.
And that is really helping in the uptake of the fruits. But what I would want to tell our viewers and those people who are listening to us, I want to tell them the opportunities in agribusiness, the opportunities in avocado growing, the opportunities in the avocado value chain. But they need to do it right. And those farmers out there who are struggling for the market, they can actually get in touch with me. We can see how we can work with them to help them build capacity so that we can be able to work with them.
All right, let's read the rest of the SMSs and tweets coming through really quick. There's still one more. And he says, I'm praying hard to hear them talk of avocados production using technology. Let them talk of price per kg.
I think mine already spoke about that, how you can move production from 200 avocados per tree to over 1,000 per year.
And we have Humphrey.
Humphrey O says, hope with time the production of avocados won't be an issue of cartels because we understand how things happen in our country. We're looking forward to this avocado production to change the face of farmers, give them a reason to invest so much in it.
3 years, Humphrey. Remember, 3 years if you're to invest right now. Just BT, create an avocado oil processing plant, diversify. Exports shouldn't be the only goal. The country can produce avocado oil which can be locally and internationally sold, creating more jobs. Think big. All right.
That's how we wrap up this discussion. You have one word.
The aim of a country, the aim of any country which is growing is to enhance exports. When you fix your exports, of course, locally, you would have already fixed because you will be producing internationally accepted products or products of high quality. So no country in the world aims to grow products for local market. You aim high and then you achieve the local market.
Thank you. We'll take that as the last one for this discussion. Peter Biwott, CEO, Export Promotion Council, Asante Sana. We had Esther Kimani, the MD of the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Services. Thank you for joining us for this program today. Hosea Machuki, the CEO, Fresh Produce Exporters Association of Kenya, Asante Sana. And Maina Karoiru, an agribusiness consultant, an avocado exporter who has graciously brought some of his products here today just for us to understand a little bit more about this fruit. Next time, we're going to have all the different varieties, Fuete, Hass, you name it. We'll pile them up on this table and help you understand a bit more about that. And that's why you need to keep watching Bulls and Bears.
They're over 150, so we might not fit all of them.
Let's do 6.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll do an average of 6.
Yes.
But most important, thank you so much for your feedback and all the questions. That's where we wrap it up. But from eating to working out. That's what Zinzi
From
Kibiku is
talking
doing
about
right now.
eating.
Okay, we're not eating this. No?
I don't know. Are they ripe?
Okay, all right, right. Are they ripe, by the way?
They are
These
not.
ones are not ripe because
Forget about it.
there's one that is said. There's one that is said is can be ripe and it's still green. That's fuerte.
Another 5-6 days.
Okay. We can wait that long. We'll just put them over here at the corner.
Take a photo. We'll take a photo after this, after the break, and work out Zinzi Kibiku. Zinzi, you'll have to wait for a week to eat this, so please go and work out.
Start working out in advance.
We're waiting for that on the other side of this break.